and all, how we doing? Saturday morning, the sun is shining, I think. Yeah, it is actually. I'll tell you, last weekend, bloody hell, weather-wise, Saturday was absolutely scorching hot. I mean, I was out with my girlfriend, and yeah, it was so warm. And then on the Sunday, it was like winter again. What's going on with the weather? I mean, I suppose we should be used to it by now. You know, especially living in Scotland. I mean, I have quite literally seen snow, rain, sun, you know, in the space of half an hour. But anyway, hope you're all good. I'm fine. Sorry about the complete lack of videos this week. I've just had stuff on. And it's always my daughter, like, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but my daughter lives with me one week and then she lives with her mum the next week. So I've had her this week, and it's the most bizarre thing. It must be a this generation thing. She'll sit at my computer with the iPad and watch whatever she's watching on YouTube, but rather than use the big screen, she'll use the iPad, but she likes to sit in the computer chair. So it kind of makes it difficult for me to get access to the PC, which means I don't really get much of a chance to make videos, hence the reason I think I only done one video, I think it was, last week. Firehawk, Warhawk, I think it was. So I do promise, next week I'm going to be getting some more stuff done. I might, just trying to think, I might actually do a live stream on Sunday night. Yeah, why don't? It's been a while, so pencil it in. Sunday night, about 8 o'clock, I'll go for a live stream. Like I say, they're always good fun, and it's been a long time since I've done one, so that's been that. But yeah, I've just been busy. Real life has quite literally taken over. Work has just been its usual insane self. So yeah, and really no excuses other than life has dominated my life at the moment, meaning things like, you know, making YouTube videos and that, it's kind of taking a bit of a back seat. So apologies about that. Looking forward to Blackpool. If you're on Facebook, you'll see all the sort of constant posts by the Play Blackpool website. Retro and Lim, which I'm part of, they are doing a live panel talk. I'm not part of that, but it should be interesting. Nova Bug, he's taking part. Top Hat Gaming, I think he's doing it. There's a few other people, and it's Ian Lee Ian Lee's a bit of a celebrity. He's been, you know, he did a really good sort of documentary film many years ago called Thumb Candy, all about the sort of history of the video game. He's going to be chairing the panel. On a retro tip, my mate Pete, he's going to be taking part as well. So yeah, you should hopefully, if you're going down to Blackpool, you should go along and support these guys. I'm talking to Play Blackpool. Obviously, I've mentioned before, I'm doing the talk for Magnetic Fields, Sean Southern and Andrew Morris. Now, I'm probably going to be using the same questions that I used for my own interview, because at the end of the day, I spent quite a bit of time pulling these together. So why wouldn't I use them? But if there's anything in particular you'd like me to ask these guys, let me know, and I'll see if I can put it in. The only thing is, apparently I've only got 45 minutes, which it sounds a lot. You know, I mean, I don't mind admitting I wouldn't say I'm shitting bricks, but I am a wee bit nervous because, especially the Magnetic Fields one, I'm doing that on my own. So it's just going to be me and these two guys. So I'm basically going to be hosting the interview. And, you know, it's one thing talking in front of an iPad or a computer or whatever, but it's another thing altogether talking in front of maybe 200 people in a big room. But I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm sure once I get over the initial minute, I'll be loving it. So yeah, I've got the Magnetic Fields questions. What I've still got to do is I'm doing a joint interview with Nova Bug to interview Andrew Hewson and his son. Now, I've not started the questions yet, but if there's anything in particular you would like me to ask them at Play Blackpool, please put the question down below and I'll do my best to try and ask them. because yeah. So I am looking forward. I'm looking forward to the weekend. There's a slight bit of trepidation, obviously, just because it's any form of public speaking can be quite nerve wracking unless it's something you've done a lot, which I've certainly not done. I mean, I do this, which I think has helped my confidence, but like I said, it's one thing. It's one thing talking to a camera behind your computer, and it's another thing altogether talking in public in front of a lot of people. But I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure once I'm going, it'll be really, really good fun. So that's kind of been that. I've actually got to kind of keep this really short because in about 55 minutes I'm picking my daughter up and we're going through to Comic Con in Glasgow now. I don't, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, I hate Comic Cons. There is nothing there for me at all. I used to think that they were kind of tied to video games, but there's no video game systems to play at all. There's very, very little in the way of video game stuff at all. I mean, it's the descriptions in the name Comic Con. I mean, it's a comic convention, and a big part of that is the cosplay. Now, my daughter, she's dressing up as some sort of manga character with blonde hair. Yeah, I'll take pictures and I'll post them next week in next Friday's Waffle. So she was meant to be going along with my pal, and the pal has basically let her down at the last minute. So I've been roped into going along. So we're going along for a few hours, see how we get on with it. But she's looking forward to it, so why not? I don't know. I think there's usually some kind of guests. I don't know who's going to be there. I'll have a look anyway. So yeah, I'm going to keep this very, very short. Just one thing I just wanted to talk about very briefly before I start the questions. I mean, I've got questions from 2 weeks ago because I did a drive-in waffle last week and I wasn't able to answer any questions because I don't think it's clever driving and reading. Definitely not. What I want to talk about is things I hate about YouTube. Not so much what I hate about YouTube, but things that really annoy me about YouTube channels. Now we've all seen them. Number one is videos, people that insist in using the most awful background music. I like watching sporting videos, whether it's boxing, whether it's running, weightlifting, whatever. I enjoy watching a lot of athletic stuff, and there's a lot of people insisting putting just the most awful grating music. It's usually kind of trance or dance or whatever, and it's just bloody awful. I mean, sometimes the sound is so bad that I'll just stop watching the video because I just cannot bear listening to it. I mean, maybe it's just me. I know music is a very, very personal thing, so music that I put on some of my videos may not be everyone's taste, but a lot of channels seem to pick the most grating, awful music that's completely inappropriate for what you're watching. And I just hate that. Yeah, I know you can turn the volume down, but why not just leave it? Give you let people have the sound effects, let you hear what's actually going on in the video rather than masking it with this god awful music. I hate that. I absolutely hate it. Second one is video channels, usually quite big, sort of bigger video channels that insist on using computer speaking rather than them actually talking like I'm doing just now. There must be some sort of software where it's like Stephen Hawking's talking, and it just gives the most impersonal. It just really gives us the most impersonal impression of who's making the video. I mean, at least when you're hearing the person's voice, you get a feel for the type of person they are. But using this monotone, robotic voice, which can't even pronounce words properly, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Fine if it's an advert or something, but not in a video that you're meant to be watching to entertain. Don't get that at all. So yeah, number 2 is robotic voices. Number 3 is obviously clickbait. We all know what these are. You look at a thumbnail of a hot bird, you think, oh yeah, beauty, I'll watch that, and it turns out to be people picking strawberries in the south of France or something completely unrelated to the actual the topic. I mean, there are there are some YouTubers out there, even in the retro gaming land, that openly admit to using clickbait, titles and pictures. The one that gets me, I've not got a problem with people using, trying to draw people in, with a title, because, that's fair enough. But when that title or the thumbnail does not even form part of the video, I mean, like I said, a lot of the time you get a thumbnail of something and it looks like, shark videos are the world's worst. You've got a thumbnail of a girl swimming and there's a shark coming up behind her about to eat her. It's not real. And when you actually watch it, that part isn't even in the video. That's annoying. That really, really is annoying. I know why people do it. It's obviously to get people clicking on it, but very quickly you realise that you've been conned. And the last one are channels that within 30 seconds of watching their video, they're asking you to subscribe and like and click that bell down below. That's just a pet hate of mine. I used to, in the early days, I used to say please like, comment and subscribe. I think I actually nicked that from Monkey Spaz. But I don't ask anybody to subscribe to my channel. If you want to subscribe, you subscribe. If you don't want to subscribe, you don't. You don't need me to ask you. There's nothing wrong with asking people to subscribe to the channel, because at the end of the day, if somebody's watching your video, then hopefully they're watching it because you're entertaining them. So all you're doing is saying to that person, look, if you want to watch more videos from myself, then if you hit the subscribe button, then you're going to get to know when I bring a new video. So I do understand, but at least leave it till either the middle of the video or the end of the video. Don't do it right at the very start. People have got to. It's like you going into a shop and you pick up something and they say, oh, by the way, do you also want to buy this that we've also made? No, you want to try what you've bought, and if you like it, then you'll go back and buy something else. That's kind of my 4 pet hates. I was trying to think of a 5th one, because top 4 doesn't sound, it just sounds a bit wrong. Is anything else that do you guys agree with these things? Is there anything that you want to add, things that annoy you about video games? Not video games, videos in general. Anyway, I'm just being a bit of a moany git at the moment. So that's that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into my videos. I'm just going to pause this a second. Right, I've actually got some questions from last week, so I'm going to read through these first. Milthy Swilbuckle. Swinbuckle? Love that. Just had a thought for another question. I've been watching Lucosa reviewing Juno first. Obviously he loved the arcade version of the game, but then went on to mention that there was a C64 version. I downloaded this, and like Lucosa, I found the C64 version seriously lacking. Anyway, it got me thinking about arcade conversion games. Which arcade conversions either seriously disappointed you, or perhaps even really impressed you? Whoa, blimey. Apart from the obvious, stuff like Buggy Boy on the Amiga, Buggy Boy on the C64 were really good conversions. I was going to say Rainbow Islands. I hate that game with passion, but I believe all the conversions of Rainbow Islands were good, even though I hate the game. Particular favourites, impressive arcade ports on the C64. I think New Zealand Story, they had pretty good ports. Really good version on the C64, and it was actually programmed by my mate Steve Snake, is Rodland on the Commodore 64. It's an astonishing conversion. Really good. Bubble Bobble had lots of good conversions. Again, it's a game that I'm not a big fan of. We could start talking about, poor conversions. There's lots of them. All the sort of the Sega games, like your Power Drifts, your Outruns, your Afterburners. These games should never have been ported to the home computers. They've just not got enough grunt. Games, arcade conversions that disappointed me, that should have been good. I was initially disappointed with Green Beret on the C64. I'd seen it on my mate's Spectrum, and yeah, it's what do you call it? It's monochrome graphics, but it looks good. The graphics are super detailed. I bought it on the C64, and I was initially disappointed with how blocky the graphics are. They really are. They're expanded sprites. But I've since revisited the C64 one, and I actually think it's quite a good conversion. It is quite a good conversion. But other arcade conversions which disappointed me. You know, the funny thing is, I'd never heard of Juno first until I got a Commodore 64, and I think it must have been a copy of the game, and I quite enjoyed it. And I didn't realise that was actually an arcade game until I got MAME, 20 years later. And then obviously when I discovered the arcade one, it's one of my favourite arcade games. It's an awesome shooter. So I wouldn't say I disagree with you and Lacosa, but maybe because you went from the arcade one, which is a fantastic version, going from the best version and then playing a lacking one's always going to be, you're never going to be impressed with the conversion. But I started off in the C64 one and quite liked it. So it's interesting, just, it depends what you see first. Just trying to think of any other, there's lots and lots of poor. In fact, there's a video that's coming out, I'll probably, if I'm going to do a live stream, I'll probably delete. I was going to put this video out on Sunday, and it's it's another Lacosa collaboration. I think you'll quite like it actually. It's good fun. I was going to put it out on Sunday night, but if I'm going to do the live stream, then I'll maybe put it out maybe Wednesday next week. If I don't do the live stream, I'll put it out tomorrow night. But yeah, we discussed many arcade games, good games, poor games. There's a lot of them. Like I said, there were certain games that should never have been ported to the home computers, but it was all about bringing in the money, and people wanted to play it on their Spectrum. That's why they came out. But just trying to think of any other conversions that really. I thought, Hypersports was amazing. They're amazing, especially on the Commodore 64. I thought it was an absolute sublime conversion. One conversion I was slightly disappointed, and that was Year Kung Fu on the C64. It played really well. The music was excellent. Sound effects were really good. Again, the graphics were extremely blocky. But later on, I think if it had come out maybe a couple of years later, it would have looked differently, because Ocean came up with a technique, I'm sure was it Target Renegade. That was one of the first ones that I saw that had that. They basically came up with a technique where they had the sprites, but what they would do is they would black outline them, which made them look super detailed. It actually made them look quite it made them look detailed and quite high resolution. So perhaps if Year Kung Fu had come out later on, then it would have looked better. So I was slightly disappointed with the graphics in Year Kung Fu. There's plenty. I think that's probably a question for a complete waffle on its own, but hopefully I've answered enough anyway. So thanks for the question, buddy. Colin Jones, if I was on my own, I could easily do without TV. Yeah, I was talking about I've got rid of my TV licence because I never watch it. I'd still like to have to. Still have to cheat to watch Doctor Who in the Sky at night. But as it is, my family are TV addicts. My biggest bugbear with modern games is micropayments, which are anything but micro. Even on subscription games, you need to buy extras to make progress. Just plain greedy. Completely agree, Colin. It's the way things have gone now. But I'm being old school. I expect when I buy a game, I want everything that game has to offer. I don't expect to have to put my hand in my pocket. Fair enough, if you want to maybe download an extra couple of levels, that's fine, but not uniforms and that kind of stuff. But again, microtransactions are they're evil, horrible things. Right, what have I done here? I've just completely made an arse of that. Wait a minute. Right, back again. Ox was saying, sorry Al, but due to my shit hearing, this sounded more like the Friday Muffle. Yeah, sorry Neil, I did the Friday Waffle last week in the car, using my GoPro. It's not, the microphone isn't the greatest, And well, to be fair, I think the microphone's alright, but it picks up, obviously, when you're in a car, it's picking up background noise. So apologies, Neil. I do try and not make car waffles. It's only when time, I've not got time to do it sitting in a chair, but apologies, mate. Panther UK, excellent weekend waffle, mate. I stopped at PS3, but I would consider a PS5 if it had the same backwards compatibility as my old PS3. I've got one of the early ones, but I still reckon it would get more use as a Blu-ray player. Blu-ray player, I should say. Yeah, I was talking about what would be the ultimate sort of console. Mad Commodore, I have problems hearing people next to me in crowd noise, but I heard the audio fine. You know what? I'm exactly the same. If I'm in a noisy place, whether it's a pub, whether it's in a busy office, or music's playing, if somebody phones me, I simply cannot hear. I can't talk to somebody. I've got to go outside. I mean, I've got really good hearing, I would think, but I'm exactly the same. Don't know what it is. I just simply cannot talk if there's loud noise. I mean, you hear people, in a noisy pub with music playing on their phone. I simply don't understand how they can possibly hear somebody talking, but I'm exactly the same, mate. I'm in the same boat with broadband. I need the upload speed, not the download speed mostly, and was thinking of going to Sky as well. No interest at all in live TV ever, especially in the crap UK TV content. Never mind console needing to be online to ruin a game disc. I was pretty annoyed when my PS3 refused to play a Game of Thrones Season 3 Blu-ray, and I'm not putting my card details on the internet. Yeah, so that's the questions from last week's waffle. Now, just apologies, guys, for kind of rushing through this. I didn't get a chance to do it last night, so where are we? That was the 21st, so here we go. Right, this is 2 weeks ago. Right, where's the questions? I don't want you to start talking, Alan. There we go. Right, Ben Dust, for the Friday Waffle, what are your thoughts on the Mega Drive Mini? Are you getting one? I've got a weakness for these genuinely licensed emulators and have no idea why, as I have everything via emulation. I've seen was it Nostalgia Nerd did a kind of overview of the Mega Drive. Did I watch all of them? I didn't actually. Have I got any interest in these little emulation machines? I've got a Mega Drive down there. I've got the EverDrive cartridge with it, so I've basically got the real deal. So why would I want one? The reason I may buy one eventually, it's basically future proofing, because, well, there's two things. I've got my big CRT TV there, which is fantastic, but TVs now don't have SCART inputs. It's just something you don't get. They don't have RF, and they certainly don't have RF connections, and they don't really have SCARTs. So these modern consoles allow you to basically plug in a classic machine into a brand new TV and still get to enjoy it. You don't have to mess about with tuning it or anything like that at all. You're getting the best picture possible. So from that point of view, I may well buy one at some point. Not just now, like I said, I've got my Mega Drive there. Maybe wait for it to come down in price. I mean, what have I got mini-wise? I've got the C64 Mini, which I'll be honest, I never use. I never ever use, and the main reason for that is the joystick is just utter shit. It really is. Lone Boys Post 1975 has made multiple videos when he plays the C64 Mini, and he talks about how crap the joystick is. It's an awful joystick, and it's disappointing because the actual machine itself is really, really nice, but why didn't he just charge an extra 20 quid and giving us a proper micro switch joystick? I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know if there's any patches out for it at the moment, but hopefully, I think you can use a mini, a SNES pad or something with it. I'm not sure, but I don't like using game pads with the C64. I want a proper joystick. If somebody could come up with an adapter, I mean, I've got a USB to Atari adapter which allows me to use an Atari joystick on the PC. If somebody could come up with a hack that would allow me to use that, that would be wonderful. But obviously, you've got to use their joystick because it's got the different buttons for picking games. But back on track, I do have a C64 Mini. It's a lovely bit of kit. Don't use it because the joystick's shit. I do have a SNES Mini, which I've not used for a while, but then I don't play many games, so that's no reflection on the thing itself. I love the SNES Mini. I've fallen out with a few people on YouTube, basically saying what I think about, hardware purists who absolutely condemn these mini systems. It's all very well if you've got the know-how, you're able to go and pick up an original SNES, you've got a TV that's capable of displaying the picture, i.e. SCART, and you've also got the knowledge to go and pick up, an Everdrive cartridge. But most people who are not into games would not have a clue where to get an original SNES or how to run games on it. So these mini systems is a fantastic way to let people who maybe had one back in the day relive the excitement and the nostalgia when they were kids, playing all these games they remember as kids. So, I think these mini systems absolutely have a place. If I'm being honest, I would prefer it if they didn't call them mini versions. Why not just bring them out full price or full size? By all means, keep the same hardware, but put it in a big shell. Because the mini ones, I kind of know why. I think the market they're aimed at is somebody like I've just described, somebody who had a SNES back in the day, who's got no interest in computer games, and then they see this thing in whatever it is, they think, I'm going to buy that, and it's something they can connect up to the TV, and then they can disconnect, they can put it in a drawer, and then when their mates come round, they can plug it back in again. I think that's kind of the target market. For me, because of the size, they don't have any weight in them, so when you plug them in, they tend to kind of get pulled back. You've kind of got it in display under your TV, and before you know it, it's kind of been pulled back under the shelf just because there's no weight in the thing. So I would rather they weren't called mini. I would rather they brought out the full size versions, even put a weight under it to make it feel heavy, and just keep the same hardware, But no, I think these mini systems have definitely got their place. Mega Drive one, will I get one? Probably. Not right away. I'll wait and see. If they come down in price, then I'll probably get one at some point. So, yeah. And my iPad is just going to sleep. Right, where are we? Milthy Swinbuckle, this is from 2 weeks ago. Amazing waffle as ever, me Meister. Looking forward to the new videos. Keep up the good work. Thanks very much, buddy. Always appreciate nice comments. Quick question for you. Have you ever made a big money computer, console, equipment or game purchase that you've regretted big time? Have I ever spent a lot of money on a computer, console or equipment? Buyer's remorse. We've all had it. My mate Monkey Spaz, he has it by the bucket full. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I do. I haven't had it for a long time. I've not had it for a long time. I mean, now I'm probably in a position, because I live on my own. Just checking the time. What is the time actually? It's 10 o'clock. I need to wind this up pretty quick, guys. Because I live on my own now, I don't have anybody to answer to. Not that my ex ever gave me any grief about buying anything. She never gave me any grief at all. But I mean, anything that's £200 or less, I wouldn't have a problem buying at all. I really wouldn't. For me, it's all about, it's not so much how much something's worth or how much something's costing. It's the cost factor, but I know that if I'll use it, then I don't regret it. I mean, my mate, he's not into computer games at all. He thinks I'm an idiot. He helped me move house last year, and he couldn't believe all the, in his words, all the shite that I had, all my games, all this kind of stuff. But he's just spent £400 on a golf club. Now, I got a full set of golf clubs for about £100 about 10 years ago. So, for me personally, I would say £400 for a golf club is ridiculous. So it's all about what your thing is. So yeah, it depends what it is. But generally, I mean, I wouldn't, like I said, I wouldn't buy anything that I couldn't afford. I have had buyer's remorse in the past. I think I was this close, and fortunately I got buyer's remorse before I actually bought it, which kind of sounds daft. I was, I bought one of these. This is the iPad Pro. Absolutely fantastic thing, because I mean you can watch. It's like basically an A4 size, so you can have magazines and that kind of stuff. It's brilliant, absolutely fantastic thing. I bought one of these to be used by my daughter and myself. Now my daughter basically commandeered it, and then when me and my ex separated, I let my daughter keep it. So I spent, I think it was £700 getting one of these, and I then lost it. So about 6 months ago, I decided, right, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to get another iPad Pro, and I knew it was going to be about £700-800, and I went to the Apple store with my girlfriend, and I was looking at them, and the ones that were all about £700 were all, they just didn't look as big. And I said to the guy, I says, is that the same size as the iPad Pro that came out like 2 years ago? And he went, no, that's actually smaller. He said, if you want an iPad Pro, this is it here. And it was £1,100. Now, I had the money, and I thought, £1,100, and I'm like, oh. And then my girlfriend said, do you not have refurbished ones? The guy goes, oh, that's a good point. So the guy went he brought up the Apple Store refurbishment thing, and there was one which was refurbished, and it was £700. And I thought, oh right, okay, I'll buy that. And she says, right, go for it. 'Cause I thought, it's the same thing, yeah, it's an older model, but for what I want it to do, it's going to be perfect. So he says, well, you can't buy refurbished models through the Apple Store or through the Apple shop. You've got to go online and do it yourself. And I thought, right, that's fine, I'll do that. So I walked out, and the penny just dropped. I'm thinking, £700, £700, and you know what? That was it. I just thought, I don't want it anymore. I was that close from handing over £1,100, and I didn't. And then after I left the shop, within 5 minutes, I realised I don't want it enough, So what did I do? I went home, went on to eBay, bought this for £350. So, job done. So yeah, I think the only time I've had buyer's remorse, or not, I haven't had it, but I felt it. In fact, here it's here. This was my original iPad 2. I think that was it £500? Yeah, the only time I've had buyer's remorse or felt it is when I've bought anything Apple, because as we all know, Apple charge an absolute fortune. And that's why I couldn't justify spending £1,000 on a phone. Nah, £1,000, no danger. So anyway, but generally I won't, if I've got the money there, I can afford it, and I know I'm going to use it, then I don't have a problem at all. Stephen Thomber, top waffling. Question for you. Which vector graphics based arcade game was your favourite and why? Mine was Gravatar by Atari, a hugely underrated game. Thanks Stephen. I think my favourite... Oh, you know what? It's a close one. If you'd asked me this 2 years ago, easy answer, Asteroids. Asteroids is a phenomenal game. It really is. It's a brilliant game. You've got to play it in the real hardware. I mean, MAME just doesn't really cut it. You just about get away with it, but you don't have the glowy visuals that you get in a proper arcade machine. And that's why I love my Vectrex so much. Asteroids is a brilliant game, but a game that I've learned to love quite a bit over the last maybe 3-4 years is Tempest. Primarily through Jeff Minter. As we all know, Jeff Minter has brought out various Tempests. Where is it? That doesn't matter. Tempest 2000 is there on the Atari Jaguar. There's various versions. There's TXK on the PS Vita, which is just a phenomenal game. But I've also played the arcade one, and if you've got the proper spinner, it is phenomenal. In fact, thanks to my mate Andrew Clegg, very generously put a spinner on my Jaguar controller, and it makes all the difference. Tempest has got to be played with a spinner for proper effect. So yeah, it's an awesome. Tempest is a beautiful game. So it's a tough one. I'm not going to make a judgment call. I'm going to say both Tempest and Asteroids. Tempest obviously has colour vectors which just look absolutely sublime. They really do. So yeah, I can't separate them, both of them, but that's why I love my Vectrex. The vector graphics are just awesome. What's going on here? Why has my iPad just frozen? Cheap crappy, right, wait a wee minute, let's get back to again, right, where are we? Ye oldie gamer Steve, another superb waffle, thank you, and a silly question this time. The most obscure piece of video game trivia I know is that the original Donkey Kong game was initially supposed to be a Popeye game, with the player being Popeye and Donkey Kong being Bluto, but they could not get the license so used their own characters. Well, I never knew that, Steve. That's interesting. So potentially, if they'd got the license, Mario may never have existed. What is the most obscure video game trivia fact you know? I know that Centipede was programmed by a bird. I know that much. That's not very obscure. Apparently, the Oasis brothers, Noel Gallagher and Liam Gallagher, their dad programmed an early Namco shooter, Galaga. Think about it. No, I can't think of any trivia. I probably do, but I just can't. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Well, not an anecdote, as I've mentioned all the time. Some of my good mates, Tony Temple holds the world record for missile command. John Studley, one of my mates, has done the perfect Pac-Man. My mate Chris holds the Galaxian world record. So yeah, that's quite interesting, I think. I can't think of any other obscure video gaming. I know Donkey Kong was named. Was it not originally going to be called Donkey King? I can't remember. And I think Pac-Man was called Puck-Man, but for reasons that they didn't want people changing the initials, they called it Pac-Man for the UK. So I can't think of anything too obscure. I'm kind of trying to rush this video, which isn't a really good basis for doing one. But thanks for your question, Steve. And Ox, hi Alan, question for the next waffle. Are there any systems you personally are still looking at adding to your collection? And what is it that draws you to them? For me, it would have to be a Commodore 128, as I had one back in 1985-86. Only had it for just over a year as I longed to join the 16-bit revolution. So was soon upgraded to Atari STM and was soon disappointed with Atari's ST sound and gameplay in early games compared to the C64. I was pretty much the same. Bought my C64, then got an ST and was initially disappointed with the sound. Just, compared to the C64, it felt like a backward step. Game systems I want to add to my collection. Not really, Neil. I've pretty much got everything that I want. No, I can't really think of anything. I mean, I wouldn't mind maybe getting an NES at some point. I've looked at getting one, but I don't have anywhere to plug it in. But I don't know, maybe an NES. If I saw one for a good price, I'd maybe think about getting one. I'm doing for time. I've got about 5 minutes. Obviously, the obvious question is, or the obvious answer is the Sharp X68000 or the FM Towns Smarty, or is that what it's called? Yeah. Two really amazing computers which came out. They're more powerful than the Amiga. They're really obscure, really hard to get, and they're ridiculously expensive. But apart from them two, I can't really think of anything else. I've pretty much got what I really want. I've never really seen anything goes, oh, I really want to get one. I wouldn't mind a C128, but I do know they go for quite daft money, and I don't want one just for the sake of having it. But I do know that there's not that many games. There weren't that many games that took advantage of the extra memory. So other than having it just to say I've got it, I couldn't justify spending a lot of money on it, put it that way. But yeah, thanks for your question, Neil. Colin Jones, it doesn't matter when these come out, we still watch them, unmissable. Not a question this week, but a request. A while ago, the 8-bit guy had an idea to design an 8-bit computer based around the 6502, the same CPU as the C64, with a similar way to use it. Primarily aimed at tinkerers, which I know you don't do, but it's taking shape and is looking promising. Then there's even an emulator available. Will you take a look if you get time and give me your thoughts on the project? I'm not going to spam links, but if you're interested in taking a look, I'll give you a link to the Facebook group and the latest update from the 8-bit guy right here on YouTube. Aye, go for it, Colin. Please send me the link, buddy. I know if I say I'll watch it, I'll forget to do it. Post me a link down below, buddy, and I will definitely look at that. That's quite an interesting thing. Batman Supreme Wafflage, sire, question for you. I must be having a crazy blonde moment and ended up asking you the same question as 2 weeks ago. There's no excuse for that. Well, it's even worse because I probably answered it. And as Alan Hansen used to say, that's pure defending. I shall change my question and instead ask you, what are your 5 favourite Spectrum 48K games? As you probably know, but I didn't have a I didn't have a Spectrum back in the day, so it's games that I've probably not played as many Spectrum games as a lot of people, but 5 games which I think are awesome in the Spectrum. Formula 1 by CRL, awesome football manager type game, except it's Formula 1 cars. Manic Miner, absolute Stonewall classic, love it, love it, love it, love it. Blimey, what's the name of that? Oh, it's not Cybernoid, it's a Hewson game. Can't remember offhand. Don't like Night Lore, I'm not a big fan of these games. Zombie, classic game, it was a sequel to Ant Attack. Really good game. What else? I must admit, I do enjoy like things like Pyjamarama. Not so much Everyone's a Wall. Yeah, Pyjamarama on the Spectrum is awesome. There's something about the sort of detailed graphics and the little sound effects. I also like Attic Attack. I'm not particularly good at it, but it's quintessentially Spectrum. It's got, typical wee Spectrum graphics. It's got the wee farts and bleeps and, sound effects that only Spectrum could make. Also love Green Beret on the Spectrum. It's a really good version. Programmed by Joffa Smith. Is that 5? I think it might be. So anyway, listen, thank you very much, Bat. Paul Morrison, I think you needed your glasses on, not your teeth in. I'd say you definitely got your 20 quid's worth. Yeah, 20 quid's worth of goodies there. I'll need to start selling it on eBay now. I'll need to go through it properly, but hey look, it's an SNK. You probably would like Warning Forever. It's a vector graphics shooter that is pretty much boss battles. Also, Spelunky is a platformer that borrows a lot from games like Montezuma's Revenge, but the platforms are generated randomly. Warning Forever. That sounds interesting. I'll need to have a look at that. The problem when I make these commitments, I say, and I genuinely mean that when I say I'm going to look at it, then I forget about it. What to maybe do if you get a chance, put the link down below, and that way I'll see it. That would be fantastic. Retrofraction PCX 2. Hi Alex. Great waffle, Al. I personally really enjoyed the Dizzy games, Magic Land and Fantasy World especially, but they were tough as nails, and of course we didn't have walkthroughs so readily available in the 80s. Yeah, I was never a fan of the Dizzy games. I think primarily it was down to the fact that I was older. I was an adult, and Dizzy games to me looked like kids games. Maybe if I'd been 5 years younger I would have played them. But yeah, I do know they're highly revered. I mean, they're loved by a lot of people. Mad Commodore, not a question. Projectors, DLP projectors are amazing. One of the few things that are science fiction tech come through this century. For me personally, I have mostly used DLP projectors for TV films for 15 years, and it's like having the Starship Enterprise main screen in your living room. Yeah, I've got an old projector and it is pretty good. Panther UK, great waffle mate, never apologise for being busy. I know a few lads that have given up in the next and sold their pre-order. I think some of these companies should set a better time frame or hold their hands up and be more realistic with their projections. Yeah, I've got to admit, I am starting to get a wee bit annoyed about the Spectrum Next. I mean, I know they're trying to get it perfected, but we're now about a year and a half over the original date, you know, so I'm sure it will be amazing. But you know, you do start to think, are we ever going to see this thing? Because, you know, yeah, it's a long time coming. One of the things I wanted to mention, and it's a pet hate, or it's a really thing that bugged me, was Sociable Soccer was a game that John Hare started designing for the PC. It came out under Steam. Now I paid, I think it was 20 quid or 15 quid. Now it's a beta, and they have basically stopped working on it. Apparently what they've said is they've ran out of money, so they've stopped working on the PC one, and they're developing Sociable Soccer for mobile phones, and then when they get enough money they're going to start working on the PC one. Well, I'm personally pissed off that somebody as high profile as John Hare would take people's money and not finish the game. I'm sorry, but that is absolute bullshit. Complete utter bullshit. If you're taking somebody's money, finish the game, give the person what they've paid for. Pissed off with that. Sorry, I really am. I was actually thinking about it the other day there. Really looking forward to it. But the fact that these guys have effectively abandoned it, leaving people like myself high and dry to move on so they can make money elsewhere. Absolute shit. Yeah, I don't get angry very often, but that, for somebody as high profile as John Hare, I'm a big fan of John Hare. I mean, I loved Sensible Soccer, you know, one of my favourite games. So to have somebody like that basically shaft people, I think it's just absolute shit. I appreciate I've got Kevin's questions. I've probably still got about another half a dozen questions there, so I'm going to have to draw this video to a close because I've got to pick my daughter up in 15 minutes, and ideally I'd like to get this video rendered so I can get it uploaded and you can watch it later on today. So anyway guys, listen, thanks as always to the constant support, really do appreciate it. Apologies again about not making an effort to reply to comments. Real life just does take over. Like I said guys, Blackpool's just round the corner. If you're going along, please come along to the talks. You'll see me, hopefully not making an arse of myself when I'm interviewing, but I'm looking forward to it. If you are going and you see me, please come up and say hello. Finally guys, have an excellent weekend, and finally thank you very much for watching.